Hey there, welcome to Ask Amy. I have a question today from Lydia. Lydia says, I've learned a lot from the principles about just letting thoughts go. I don't need to hang on to them and take them so seriously. But this thought, I'm going to have a panic attack, is a recurring one. I do understand it can never be the exact same thought. So I'm gonna interrupt Lydia's question at points and just speak kind of throughout. But I love that you see that, Lydia. Like it's funny, isn't it? I mean, even if the words are the same or similar, we never have the same experience over and over. It never repeats. Life never exactly repeats, ever. So I don't know, sometimes there can be a little freedom, a little wiggle room in that. But I'd also, that you say, I see something about letting thoughts go, that I don't need to hang on to them and take them seriously. But this one about having a panic attack, it's a recurring one. And so I just want to say there, so that's okay. It doesn't make it any different. It doesn't, just watch if your mind's kind of making that mean something. But this one is recurring. It always comes back. And then it doesn't really always come back. But don't make it mean anything that it's recurring. In fact, in a sense, you want to kind of just have amnesia and just be with what's right here. It's another thought that comes in that says, oh, I always get this thought, and here's how it tends to go. And that's where we kind of find ourselves feeling like we're stuck in these repeating patterns, right? But you see that thoughts, to some degree, that thoughts are safe. They come and go. They don't need to be held on to. If it's felt like this thought has been around 200,000 times, or this is the first time it's ever shown up, it's still the same. It's safe. It's very fluid. It doesn't need anything from you. So just see if you can kind of meet each thought as it is, right here. And notice the story that comes in and gives it a big theme and an arc and a past and a future. She says, but I often have this thought, which makes me focus on body sensations. And then from that, I have more thoughts, which push me into having a near panic attack. Okay, so the thought comes up, I'm going to have a panic attack. You say, that forces you it makes you focus on body sensations. From there, more thoughts come up, which push you into having a near panic attack. So just to say it this way, thought doesn't make you do anything. It can't. It has no power. And this is huge to see because it doesn't feel that way. Thought can't make anything. It's never making anything happen. It's like a reflection. Thought is like a reflection. You walk past a lake and there's your reflection on the lake. It's just kind of it's a reflection. It's a reflection of old thoughts. It's a reflection of current thoughts. It's a reflection of sensory experience. It doesn't have any power to do anything. So what you're describing is the thought comes up that says, I'm going to have a panic attack. Okay. Part of the habit of that then maybe is more thought comes up that focuses on the body. Because focusing on the body would be thought also. That's attention going into the body, and then there's thoughts about the body. Okay, that happens also. And then from there, you say, I have more thoughts, which pushes me into a near panic attack. So I'm not trying to be super picky about it, but I just do want you to see, especially the makes me, forces me part. It feels that way, I know, but it's not really that way. What you're describing is just a cycle of experience. Thought comes up, I'm going to have a panic attack. Then maybe there's some attention on the body. Okay, that's also just thought. And then maybe there's some resistance of that or some fear. Okay, well, that's just good to see. So just see if you can kind of see it in this way. This is what comes up. That's what comes up. And I'm not suggesting you can do this in the moment so easily, but just as you listen to this, out of that moment, you can see it. So, Lydia says, isn't that funny? Thinking about the very thing I don't want pushes me in that direction. Exactly. That's what resistance is. So it's not just like the way I'm saying it, that thought, I think I'm going to have a panic attack. That just showed up. Interesting. Oh no, look, now there's stuff on my body. It's not feeling that way for you. It's feeling like, oh no, there's that thought. It forces this, it forces that. So that's the energy that is a panic attack. I mean, that energy, there is no thing called a panic attack. That energy, which is a lot of it, is just that, oh no, that kind of resistance to experience, that is anxiety. That makes sense? Again, don't worry about the definitions. I'm not talking about a definition here. I just want you to see there's no thing called a panic attack. There's just a bunch of stuff happening. So right here is when that's kind of happening. It's and yeah, it's like, oh no, don't want this to happen. I hope that doesn't happen. And then that's kind of feels like that's what makes it happen. But really, it's just a lot of resistance. So resistance, resistance is like, this is where, and I know you get to it in your question, we just want to start to see everything that shows up. It's just safe. I know you're going to get to that, so I'm gonna wait till you get to it in the question. Okay, so Lydia says, sometimes when I have that thought, I'm able to just let it go and focus on the present. Awesome. It just lets go. Sometimes there's a lot of attention on it. Sometimes there's not. That's it. But there are other times when it sticks and I feel like I'm unable to let it go. I haven't gotten to the point where I don't fear the feelings. I'm so afraid to have a panic attack. So again, see if you can see this, kind of feel into it. It's just different ways that life shows up. You're not doing it. You're not managing anything here. You're not to blame. You don't get the credit when it's easy. You're not managing any of this. Sometimes it shows up and it just feels like, oh, just let that one go. Sometimes it shows up and there's a ton of resistance and it feels horrible. See if you can kind of remove yourself a little bit just mentally as we talk about it and just see, it just shows up with different energies. And it's the same. It's all the same thing. It's all just energy. Sometimes it shows up like this. Sometimes it just shows up like that. And just, again, I'm just giving this very loose to kind of just play with the feel of it, because it's not like my thought, my feeling, I'm doing this, I'm resisting, I'm making it worse. It's not like that at all. It feels like that, but that's just another thought in there. It's really just like, it shows up different ways and it's all okay. Okay, so she says, how can I help myself understand to just let it go, that it's just feelings? To not fear the feelings, to not fear the physical symptoms, to get out of my head. How do I move past my mind saying, oh, this anxiety, this is panic, and I want to feel this, make it stop? How do I truly lean in and trust? What does leaning in and not resisting look like? Well, I think you're going to do great, Lydia, because you're asking all like the right questions. I mean, just even how you're oriented toward this, how you're like, how do I just relax and lean in? I mean, it's perfect. Like your sense of this is really good. So when you say, how do I move past my mind saying all this stuff? I don't want to feel it, make it stop, all of that. And how do I lean in and see it? Like, this might sound very obvious, but honestly, I think we have this sense that there's all this stuff coming and going. We don't know where it comes from. We don't know where it goes away to, but it arises, it's felt, it's here, it leaves. This is not about anxiety. This is all experience, right? All experience is constantly just moving through this space that is who and what we are. Coming, rising, falling, changing all the time. All of it. All of it. So you want to just kind of keep getting that sense and maybe just leaning in and checking it out. Now, it's only a couple little thoughts or beliefs that say, oh no, I don't like this. This is a thing called anxiety. These are all just thoughts we've learned. They're things we've learned. This is anxiety. I know what this leads to. This is bad. I wish this wasn't here. Like, those are thoughts. So rather than being in the content of those thoughts and then trying to make something change, you want to just take a step back and you want to just keep seeing, wow, just like, hey, what's for lunch? What time is it? Those thoughts just come and go. No big deal. I don't like this. I wish it would stop. All of that. Same thing. It's exactly the same thing. I think I'm going to have a panic attack. Same thing. And it won't be as easy. It won't be as easy as letting go, what time is it or what's for lunch. But you keep seeing that it's the same thing. And the way that happens or is easier is you're like, I don't like this way of saying it now, but I used to talk about it like this a lot, but it's kind of like you're outside of it. Like we're just watching. We're just watching. You're just watching a thought form, watch it go away. it doesn't matter what the thought says. So we're not in the content of it. You're just kind of watching thought. You're watching feeling. This body mind has all kinds of habits. Anxiety might be one of them, but there's not a thing called anxiety. It's just, there's energy, there's less energy. It's all changing forms all the time. So the mind will say all the stuff you said, and you can't make it stop, but you can say, oh, there's that thought. Oh, there's a thought. There's the panic attack thought. Okay. And you watch it come and you watch it go best you can. And you lean into this rather than our stance typically with anxiety in particular, or anything that we call uncomfortable, is we push. Again, as we've said, there's resistance. We kind of push, we lean away, we try to brace ourselves. Like, all of that really makes it hurt. You just see, like, what the heck is this experience that I'm calling a panic attack? I've been told this thing is called a panic attack. What is that? Oh, there's a thought about a panic attack. There's some sensation. Let me just feel that a little bit. And maybe you do it when it's not a panic attack. So you do it tonight, tomorrow, you do it throughout your day when it's like a little frustration or a little excitement or whatever the feeling might be. Lean in and check that out. Like, oh, where is this sensation? I'm feeling something I think is like excitement. Where? Oh, I feel it kind of in my stomach. It's like a little moving. And just, you don't have to narrate it like I am, but you just kind of hang out in it. Check it out. Like, let that whole energy just take you over. It's not going to hurt anything. You just kind of hang out, and that shows you. It's nothing I could ever say or anyone could ever say. That will show you that sensation is totally safe. And in fact, sensation is so totally safe. We kind of almost don't need to be shown. It's really just the thought coming in saying this isn't okay. So lean into other things and then kind of maybe just watch the thoughts that want to come in. But you do it like that. There's really no fancy, special, sophisticated way about it. You moved closer to the thoughts, not further away. You check them out. You watch them come and go. You lean into the sensations. You really let them just take over, and you get used to them and feel them. No pushing, no bracing, just let it all be there. And then that is what shows you, not that practice, but the actual thoughts and sensations themselves, because you will see this is okay. Like, it's just okay. It just is what is. It's just what's here. It's fine. And that's what shows you. Right now, this feels like some, bad thing that happens to you, but I know you know better too by the way you ask this question. It's not. It's not. It's just a force of nature. It's just some energy that happens, some thoughts that happen. Just move closer to it. Check it out. There's a question here. Are not breathing exercises resisting in some kind of way? No. No, if it helps, if you enjoy doing it, if that feels like it's going to help, do it. If you're doing anything with like, oh my God, this has to stop, make it go away, then that's resisting. Breathing exercises aren't resisting. Thought, like an activity isn't going to be resisting. Resisting is like a belief. It's a thought about it. It's the energy you bring to it. In other words, you can breathe from a lot of resistance, like make this stop, and that's probably not going to be so helpful. You can breathe from a place of like, oh, maybe this kind of feels good right now. Maybe it'll help, and that's not resisting. I hope that makes sense. All right, so thank you so much, Lydia, for your question. Great question, and reach out and let me know how it's doing. You guys can send your questions to askamy@thelittleschoolofbigchange.com, and I will see you next time.